te encontrar. Menina que vem de lá, sonhando com esse lugar. O sol, esse coração, eu corro pra te encontrar. Menina que vem de lá, sonhando com esse lugar. O sol, esse coração, eu corro pra te encontrar.
Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Theory Thursdays with yours truly, Max Wild. I am back. I know you guys all missed me last week. Wasn't able to make it, but I'm back, and I hope you learned something with Rashab because Rashab is awesome, and I hope you were practicing your polymeters and your polyrhythms and your 7/4 over 12/19. All that theory is going to pay off. I promise. I know it can be a drag or kind of take some practice, but it does pay off. I promise. Anyway, we are 343 TV. We're here every day at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. It's kind of complicated. I was almost thrown through a loop if it hadn't been for Thomas, because here in Berlin, where I am, we're actually in our daylight savings time starts 2 weeks later. So it's actually an hour earlier for me. So anyway, very confusing. For those of you in Berlin, it's only 6 o'clock. Usually we tune in at 7. So thank you for being here. We're here every day. Mondays we have tips and tricks with Doltrick. Tuesdays we have Tetro Talks with Tetro, our creative director, where he interviews artists and music industry experts. Wednesdays we have, normally we have Justin Beck, Lewis Beck with Electronic Music Essentials. But yesterday we had a really dope show with Jonathan Stein, who is, I think he's like one of my favorite, don't tell Claire Lim, but I think he's one of my favorite push players. He just makes that thing play. He plays it like it's a piano or well, it just makes it play like a push, I guess, but he's got it down. Thursdays is Theory Thursdays. Fridays, tomorrow we have Abe Duque. He's got a special show with Julia Mattis, dope DJ, producer. We actually know each other from the Dubspot days. Saturdays we've got, oh my God, if you guys, who was here last Saturday to see John's show with Sync 24, was off the chain, I have to say. There's like 100 people there. It was our biggest stream ever. So definitely tune into Selway's show on Saturdays. And then in the end of the month, we'll have sample challenge Sundays with Metropolis. So if you haven't submitted your sample challenge beat on our Discord, link into the description, do so, because the deadline, I believe, is the last Friday of the month. We also, I'll do the other announcements in a second, but let's see who's in the chat. Got Mystic Moth, what's up, dude? Simple Sam is here, cool to see you. Be meaning to ask the 1 hour earlier this week, is that the new time? No, it's not. Simple Sam, where are you located? It's because of the, it's only 1 hour. If you're in Europe, Simple Sam, it's 1 hour earlier this week and next week. And then I believe we're back. It's just because of daylight savings time. Enigmatic Onion is in the chat. What's up? AB is in the chat. Yo, yo. All right. Yeah, just a couple other things before we get going. We have a beat challenge, beat battle sponsored by Arturia. The deadline is supposed to be tomorrow, but I think we're going to be extending it. And the giveaway is really dope. It is the VC8 collection by Arturia, which, if you don't know, Arturia makes really cool plugins, and the V Collection 8 has like every synth imaginable and really great remakes of some of the vintage synths, analog synths. So yeah, the beat battle entry guidelines are on our Discord and on our website 343labs.com. So the Discord is in the description, but I think Thomas will be posting it in the chat. So take a look out for that. Any other announcements? I'm thinking, well, we've got lots of classes starting. So, we're a music production school. We teach Ableton Live, Logic Pro, music composition and arrangement. mixing and mastering, sound design, synthesis with John Selway. There's a class starting next week, Wednesday, online. So wherever you are in the world, you can take that class with John starting next Wednesday. You can sign up at 343labs.com. He teaches synthesis and sound design. It's a really cool course. Also, we've got loads of Ableton classes coming, electronic music composition, all sorts. So check out 343labs.com. If you're in Berlin, we've got 343labs.de. We've got our in-person classes that are going on. We've actually got a 30% sale from now until April 1st. All right, that's enough talking about the school, I feel like, but it's important for you guys to know. That's right. Simple Sam is in the Netherlands. Yes, so Simple Sam, it's just this week and next week, and then we'll catch up with the States in terms of daylight savings. So that's it. Cool. So I'm really excited because I'm going to be talking to you guys not just about orchestration, but everything to do with orchestration, including some really dope sample packs that I just downloaded by Spitfire Audio. If you don't know Spitfire Audio, they make really, really cool orchestral sounds, very, very, very real sounding. It's often very hard to find good sample packs that emulate strings, brass instruments, also pianos, anything that is a kind of an organic instrument. But they do a really good job, and I'm going to demonstrate today because we're going to be talking about orchestration. I'm also going to be showing you guys how to use this thing, which is the Sensel Morph. So if you guys, you'll know by now that Live 11 came out, and which is MPE compatible enabled, MPE stands for MIDI polyphonic expression. So now instead of playing, when you play a more than one note, so a chord, they all have the same expression, but now you can separate those three notes. Let's say you're playing three notes. You can separate those three notes and have different expression on each note because they're all being sent through a separate MIDI channel. So that's really cool. And I'm going to be showing you guys a little bit about the Sensel Morph. All right, let's get into it. By the way, if you have any questions about anything, please drop them in the chat. Also, would love to hear where you guys are all calling from. Let me know. Simple Sam is in the Netherlands. I'm in Berlin. It's great how our community can come together from all over the world in this pandemic. Okay, so here we go. There's Live 11. Drop me an emoji if you're already using Live 11 and what you think. What is your favorite feature in Live 11? I guess I'm wearing the hoodie, so you can see that I'm a fan. I'm also a certified Ableton-certified trainer, so I guess I should really like Ableton. Anyway, let's dive right into it. First of all, what is orchestration? So the way that I think of orchestration, and I went to a music conservatory. Actually, I went to two music conservatories, one in London and then in New York. Classically trained, and we talked a lot about orchestration. What does orchestration mean? Well, basically, if you have a song, technically speaking, a song but a song consists of, if it's a song that has lyrics, then it consists of the lyrics, right? So it might have lyrics, but otherwise it has pitches. So it has melodies, it might have a chord progression, it has a bass line, it has a beat, or kind of a vibe, right? But you could play a song, for example, just on the guitar, or you could play a song just on the piano, and you would be able to recognize it because of the melody, the chords, the tempo, the rhythms, right? All those things make up the song, regardless of what instrument you play them on. Now, when you assign a different instrument to the melody, to the chords, to the beat, to all the different parts, all the different things going on in the song. That's what we call orchestration. All right. You know, if you think about it, if where the word comes from is orchestra, and an orchestra, you know, actually has these huge orchestras that have like 60 musicians, 80 musicians on stage. And if you think about it, they're all playing the same song, and they're all playing a different little part of that song. And figuring out which part is played by which musician, that's orchestration, and that's what we're going to talk about today. We got a couple new people joining here. What's up, William Mind Readers? Yeah, all right, cool. So first of all, let me show you the Spitfire stuff. So I have it kind of earmarked in my browser, and I downloaded the brass quartet, downloaded the string quartet, and I downloaded the upright piano. Let's start with the upright piano. I really love the way this sounds. Now, what Spitfire did is they actually included a bunch of really nice MIDI clips, so that even if you don't really play piano, you can kind of use these as to get ideas, or even you could even use parts of them, I guess, and maybe move things around and change things. So take a look at what these sound like. Really cool. Let's keep going. Different keys, different modes. Let's just funky. All right, so you get the idea. There's tons of MIDI clips here that you can use for to get ideas. Now, I really like that one, and I am going to take that and track. Let's see what that sounds like. Is it looping? Yep. All right. So that's super dope. Now, that is in the key of G sharp minor. I mean, the clip is telling me that it's in G sharp minor. And so if we, again, this is I'm always going to go on about like some of the cool features in Live 11. If you're using Live 11, you'll know that you now have a scale feature where if you hit the scale tool, you can hit find the root of whatever key you're in. So we're in the key of G sharp, and then you select your scale. So we're in minor because that's what it's telling us. And we can see if this is right. And you can see that all the notes in the G sharp minor scale are now highlighted, and the root is double highlighted. And if I hit scale, it will only show me the notes of that scale. And I can see that all the notes are in the scale. Now, as you can also see, is that there are a lot of black keys, and if you were to try to play this pattern on the piano, if you've tried, like hitting these black keys is a little harder. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to transpose this, meaning I'm going to move all these down a half step to G minor. I also like the key of G minor, so I'm just going to go down a half step. See what that sounds like. All right, sounds dope. Now, I kind of prepared a little something here. I made some drums Let's check these out. I'm gonna go for, basically what I want to show you guys today is like some old school 90s hip hop with some nice strings, maybe some brass on top of that. All right, and how to orchestrate that. So I made a simple beat. Tell me if you like it. All right. Also, I just wanted to share with you how I made this beat. Um, so this beat again, I'm going with. I'm not doing anything crazy here. I wanna emphasize that, you know, live has lots of really cool samples and MIDI clips and sounds and resources at your disposal, so you don't have to go searching for crazy plugins. Um, this is a sample pack that I got off the Live 11 store. If you go to packs, called Beat Tools, and then you go to drums, and it's the Azimuth. That's the kit that I was using. I think I might have switched out one or two of the drums, but let's just check out what we have. Oh, wrong instrument. So we just got a kick, clap, snare, another snare, some vocal sample, hi-hat, another, I like that snare, clap, hat, another hat. All right, some 808s. Okay, cool. Nothing crazy, right? Now, what I did with this beat is and I'm a big believer in this. If you've watched my streams, I'm using the groove pool. All right, so the groove pool is this right here. And again, in Live 11, they moved some things around, made some improvements, and now you can find grooves right here in the browser. And I went in and I picked a couple grooves that I liked the sound of. What I did is I took the Swing MPC double up 16th 55, and I threw that in my drum clip, selected it. As you can see, it is selected. And now, again, I've shown this before. I'm going to show it again. It's such a powerful technique. I'm just going to set this quantize to 0. Now, right now, if I keep the settings as they are, this is actually going to be a straight beat with no swing. Well, actually, let's turn down the timing just to make sure. All right, there's just no soul in there, right? No like swagger, right? So I'm gonna turn up the timing all the way to 100%, and I changed the bass to eighth notes. Now this is super important if you want to create, if you want to use this technique that I'm gonna show you. Set the bass to eighth notes, and then turn up the quantize slowly. And what it's gonna do is gonna take anything that is syncopated, like a syncopated 16th note, and it's going to try to quantize it to the next eighth note. But if you only quantize it a little bit, check what happens. And I'm going to go too far so that you can see the effect. All right, now I'm already too far. See, if I move this all the way to 100%, look what happens. It's quantizing everything to eighth notes. Yo, what's up, Abe? Abe is in the house. Nice to see you. Thanks for stopping by, Abe. Abe's show is tomorrow with DJ Mattis. It's gonna be dope. Yeah, Abe's here just for the boom bap. Cool, cool, cool. Old school 90s hip hop, my favorite. Yeah, that's right. Westworld, okay. Cool. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn this quantize down to like, and if I was to commit this, meaning it's gonna show me, it's gonna move the MIDI notes to where the swing is now pushing them to. This is what it would look like. And as you can see, now all the notes are off the grid. If I go back to my 16th note grid, you can see that that swing is really happening hard, right? I am going to undo that. I'm going to keep the swing on, but undo it just in case I want to reapply the swing a different way. All right, so I got the drums. Now I want to change the piano. So right now this is just kind of a G minor, right? This is my G minor triad. And listen to that sound, it's so beautiful. Now what I want to do is like hip hop, I've got to be honest, hip hop is not about the harmony. Okay, there's not a lot of harmony going on. In fact, a lot of hip hop has just one chord the whole way through. And that's cool because it's not about that. You know, it's about the vocalist, the rapper, whatever. It's about the groove. It's about the beat. It's not so much about the harmony. However, I'm going to change, because I'm a harmony guy, I'm going to change the harmony slightly. And I'm going to go from G minor to C minor. And so we got a G minor chord and our C minor chord in second inversion. Right, that's C minor. G minor. So all I need to do is to make the C minor, I'm going to change this A sharp, and there's no rule, but I think it'll sound cool if I go up to the C. Go up to the C there and maybe change this to, I think that's good. See what it sounds like. Cool. So now it's already sounding like two chords more than just one chord, right? I'm kind of implying that harmony by changing that. Here's another cool thing about Live 11 real quick. I just got to show you this. So I'm going to change, since I now went to G minor, I'm going to change the root to G minor. And look, it changed the A sharp to B flat. Anyone that's trained, like learned an instrument and learned to read music, you'll know that an A sharp is the same as a B flat, but in certain key signatures, the key signatures will be a flat key signature. So actually an A sharp will be written as a B flat, and it makes more sense in certain cases, as in this case, because the key signature of G minor is B flat and E flat. So there's our B flat and there's our E flat. Let's add some bass. So as we know, the bass needs to play the root, and then yeah, so it's going to go from G to C, very simple. And I got a bass here, so it's going to play G and then C. So it's going to go then to C. All right, and I recorded this little bass line. can see that the chords are moving at the same rate if I put them next to each other. And I select them both. So there's our C minor, sorry, there's our G minor. Bass is playing G, and now C minor with bass is playing C. Really important that your harmony is moving at the same speed. What's up, Maya? Nice to see you. Yeah, Simple Sam. That key change is a game changer for someone like myself who's really into music theory. Love that. Roller 8, what's up? Nice to see you. Yeah, that's right. This video needs more likes. I like that. This video does need more likes. So yeah, like the video and subscribe. Hit the subscribe button and hit the bell key if you want to be notified when we go live, which is every day. All right, cool. So we got bass, we got piano, and we got drums. Let's see what happens. I picked out just as a joke. Let's see what this does.
Dr. Dre be the name, still running the game, still got to rap like a mummy, still ain't tripping, love to see young blacks get money, spend time out the hood, check their moms out the hood, hit my boys off the jobs, no more living hard, barbecues every day, driving fancy cars, still gon' get my cigar, representing for the gangsters all across the world, still.
All right, well, that was just kind of like to throw that in for fun, just for the vibe, right? All right, cool. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to get into the strings. We're going to get into the orchestration part. Now, really important is know that whenever you're using sample packs that have a big, a lot of samples, and that's if you want to create an instrument that sounds very realistic, you're going to, if you're emulating a piano, any of those, if you're using a sampler that uses a lot of samples in it, as you can see, this upright piano is by Spitfire Audio, is using a ton of samples, all right? Or quite a few. It's also using quite a few audio effects. And there you go. So what you want to do is you want to save CPU. And what I'm just going to do is freeze that track real quick. Save that CPU, because your CPU, especially if you're streaming live, you want to treat that like gold, right? Sweet. We got that going. So now let's get into, I'm going to show you these strings. Stop this for a second. All right, let's get into the strings. So here, this is what my strings sound like. And again, here's a trick. I actually turned this off before so that I'd save CPU. Oh, that's low. Check out that rich sound of the strings. I'll just show you again for those of you that tuned in late. We're using Spitfire Audio plugins. Well, not plugins. This is built right into Live 11. This is a pack that you can get made for Live 11 MPE enabled MIDI polyphonic expression. So the string quartet is taken right from here. From the Spitfire Audio pack. And I am, if you go to instruments, you can see there are like different presets, and I'm just using this long all-in-one preset. So that's what this is. Yeah, it's anyone checked out the new packs, the new Spitfire packs? Yes, Maya, I'm going to be using the Sensel in a second. I'll show you that. Simple Salmon. Most tutorials use a simple thing to warp, so warping complex samples could be a nice subject to cover. True, true, true. Warping can be tricky. Hadassa Davis, what's up? Love the Operator 7 bass. Thank you. Where can you get it? I actually just made that. Thanks that you like it though. I'll just show it to you. Nothing too crazy. What I did for the bass, if you're interested, it's just this setting. You can basically just copy it. I have three, I guess I have all operators going, but very simple settings. Not doing anything crazy. What I am doing though is I'm kind of not cheating, but I love using the drum bus Live 10 feature. That gives me that, see what it sounds like without. Now with. All right, gives it all that crunch body, boom, drive, and then I've got a compressor. So that's my operator. You can just make it, make it yourself. You don't need it. You don't need to download it anywhere. So yeah, let's get back to the strings. So this is my sound. Now they've also got a pizzicato, which sounds like this. Again, I turned it off. Let me turn this back on. All right, nice pizzicato motion going on. And then we got this cool MPE enabled string instrument. I'm gonna pull up my Morph for you guys to see. So those of you that don't know, the Morph looks like this. All right, and it actually has a bunch of overlays. So it has right now I'm using the piano overlay. But check it out. And by the way, for those of you that don't know the Morph, it's basically the size and weight of an iPad. And it works on a just on a regular battery that you charge with your USB charger. Now the cool thing is that you can just pull these overlays off, and now you have all these different overlays. Like I have this drum overlay, and if I go over to my drums, I'm not sure if this is mapped correctly, but there you go. Here's my kick. 808. All right, it even has different parts of the pad that you can strike, and you can hit these with with drumsticks, and they work great. Different parts of the pad that you can strike for different sounds. So that's the drum pad overlay. Then we have this crazy guy, which is the Buchla Thunder. And for that, I think maybe I will actually go back to one of these string sounds. So check this out. So the harder I press, this is what MPE does, right? It means that you can move. It basically has an X, Y, and a Z axis. You can move up and down to change the timbre. You can move left or right to change the pitch. And you can also, with aftertouch, but the harder you press, you'll get a different timbre and different volume. Yeah, it's totally touch sensitive. It's it's crazy. Like you can do stuff like Now, actually, also I'll show you just in Ableton what happens when these hexagons. What they do is look at the macros move. I can move all three macros. Oh, it's supposed to happen. I can move all three macros just by. Well, they're not all of them are responding, but now I can do stuff like. Right, so this hexagon, moving it up, down, left, right, um, controls the first three macros, and this controls the other three macros. So this is the Thunder overlay. Then we have the last overlay, which is the production overlay, which is also super cool, which does drums. So, well, it does all kinds of things. You can also launch clips, but I'm just going to use it on my drums. So if you like more of a conventional kind of 4x4 grid, and then super cool here, you can change, you can move the macros again, although maybe they haven't been set up. Oh, I am on the wrong thing here. Try that again. There we go. So there's my filter. So let's say I'm playing these drums and I want to filter them out. Oh. Oh, you know what? I actually turned, I again, to save CPU, I turned these all off. So, but you get the idea. I'm not going to do it now. Basically, you can control the macros, but I did turn those effects off to save CPU. So yeah, and then you've got the slider, which you can map to anything. You could map this to like an auto filter or something. In fact, why don't I just map this to the filter here, and now I'm going to be moving the filter. There you go. So you can see the filter move as I move my finger up and down. Cool. So the overlay that I am going to be using is the piano overlay. Which is this overlay right here. All right. So also we're just going to take a little break here. Need to get a drink. So those of you that just joined, we are 343 TV, going live with our instructors every day at 1 p.m. Eastern time, New York time, for the next 2 weeks, just at 5 o'clock Berlin time or European time, but usually at 6 o'clock European time. And yeah, a couple things to check out this week. Definitely check out the beat battle. I think we're going to be extending the deadline for submission, which is supposed to be tomorrow, but I think we're going to be extending it. The prize is the Arturia V Collection 8, which is the new, used to be the V Collection 7, which is all the dope synths by Arturia, which is worth like over $500. So definitely submit for that. The instructions to submit, I think, are in the chat. Otherwise, you can just check them out in our Discord in the link below. Then also we have tomorrow we've got Abe Duque with his show, Production Playhouse. Saturday we've got John Selway. For those of you that are into the pro sessions are 2-day masterclasses with really amazing DJs and producers, and I'm not just saying that, they are actually, you know, making really big records. And these are 2-day live streams on Zoom that you can find at 343labs.com. You can sign up, and the next one coming up is with Eagles and Butterflies, um, which will be not this weekend, but the weekend after that. We had some really cool artists on the show. Inalea, we had from Innovisions, Era, also Innovisions. So yeah, check that out. That's Pro Sessions. And yeah, we've got classes starting all the time. So if you want to learn Ableton Live, Logic Pro, mixing and mastering, composition and arrangement, vocal production, synthesis, sound design, all that stuff, we teach it. There's classes starting all the time. Check them out at 343labs.com. And classes in Berlin as well. And we've got a 30%, if you are in Berlin and want to learn, we've got a 30% sale right now until until April 1st. So check that out. See who's in the chat. Hey, Space Facts. How's it going? John H. Kingston is here. Simple Sam is asking. Okay. He's giving an explanation. Yes, that is a Sensel Morph. And hey, what's up, Vasilis? Vasilis is actually our composition and arrangement instructor in Berlin, my colleague. And Vasilis, yes, this is the Sensel Morph. MIDI polyphonic expression. That's right. That's what we're getting into here. Touch that. Okay, let's keep going. Cool. If you have any questions about the Sensel Morph, let me know. But I am going to switch over to it right now and show you some other cool things that it can do. So here we go. So I have selected this MPE enabled violin or string rather. So I'm just playing a note. Now, if I move my finger left or right, I'm going to change pitch on that note. What I'm also doing is I'm pushing down harder, and it's giving me a more intense sound. So check this out. That's just pushing lightly. See, I was pushing down harder, and it gave me that more intense sound. So this is light, and this is hard. Another thing I can do is I can slide up and down. It's kind of like bending the note, changing the pitch a little bit, changing the intensity. I can play, I can play chords. I mean, it can get pretty crazy, but yeah, that's basically the Morph. And you know, with some of the other overlays here, you can get. All right, that's when I start running into CPU issues if I'm playing too many notes at once. All right, so too much fun with MPE and the Sensel Morph, but I think you guys get the idea. Basically, you can write the soundtrack to The Shining or something like that. But no, it's super versatile, and I'm actually just getting the hang of it as they were kind enough to send this to us, so that we can use it in the classroom. So if you ever take a class with us in Berlin or New York, we have them there to try out. Also, if you want to get one yourself, you can actually use the discount code 343 labs, and I believe it'll take 10% off the purchase price. So let's get back to the orchestration. We're gonna do some. We're gonna orchestrate these chords. So back to live. Turn off anything that I don't need. Oh, you know what? I also wanted to show you the brass sounds by Spitfire. So check out these brass sounds. Also really cool. On the Morph. Slide up to that note. Cool. So let's start with some strings. So my chord progression is G minor going to C minor. So now normally if I was just to play these chords normally, it would sound like this, and it would kind of sound not bad, but not great. So if I just play the chords normally in like root position, that would sound like this. Legato that. And let's quantize that. All right, so that is our G minor chord and our C minor chord. And it's not, turn up the velocity. They're the right chords and they're playing the right harmony, but they're not really orchestrated or arranged in a way that is the big sound that you associate with, a big orchestra or strings. So a couple things I'm going to do. First of all, I'm going to bring in an inversion here. An inversion is when you flip the order of the notes so that they are closer to each other from one voice or one note to the next note. So I'm just going to take this G down an octave. And now this will be a lot smoother. All right, already that sounds a lot smoother. Now, if you want that big sound, it's all about having the root and the fifth. Now the root is the G and the fifth is the D. You have the root and the fifth down in the bottom range, all right? And then you have the other notes, the third, up in the top range. Check it out. Select those two and shift down. Big difference, right? That just doesn't sound as rich, all right? So now, again, the root and the third, the root is this. See? Bring that down an octave. And let's see what that sounds like. You know what I might get away with is bring this G down, so now it's just staying on that G. I'm going to bring in the bass. The bass is also playing. I want to keep these notes kind of next to each other. So this is all voice leading, right? All right, let's bring in the bass. Oh, that's the piano, but that's nice too. Let's bring in the bass. Cool. Let's try the other variation. So a different way to voice lead this with the root in the bottom of the chord. And that's kind of like giving me, so if you think about strings, you've got basses, you've got cellos, you've got violas, and you've got violins. And quite often the violins are playing a first violin and a second violin. Then you've got the violas. Then you've got the cellos. Sometimes the cellos are playing two parts as well. And then you've got the, then you have the basses at the bottom. What I could also do is add some color notes here. So we'll do that next. Well, that was not the variation I was going for, this one. Let's just listen to that soloed. I like that a lot. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add, I said there's basses, cellos, violas, and 2 violins. So I'm going to add 2 notes to each chord, a colorful note. So I've got G minor. I could add the 7th, but I think that the 9 would be nice. Actually, let me add the root. Cool. And now let me add the A, which is the 9. So if you don't know about the extensions of a note of a chord, is the root, 3rd, 5th, 7. So the A is the 9. Cool, I like that. Now let's see how we can lead these all to the respective notes. So this note is going here. This note is going there. I guess this note is, that's not a, no, this note is going there. This note is going there. Let's add the B flat as, that is going to be the 7th. And let's keep the G. That's the 5th. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I switched too late, but there you have the notes, right? That's the root, 5th, 9, 3rd, and the root again. And then we have the C minor, so this is the 5th, 3rd, 7, which is a colorful note, and the 5th. Now let's move this over. So this is a nice vibe, I like it. But let's move this over to the pizzicato. So I'm just going to copy and paste. And see what this sounds like in pizzicato. So this mate, just going to select all, shorten these to eighth notes. I think eighth notes would be a nice rhythm. And boom, boom, going to be lazy. And now we're going to be even lazier. Would help if I turn these on. Oh my goodness. Don't do that. So I that was the brass, brass quartet. Don't put it on the brass quartet. Put it on the pizzicato strings, please. All right. All right, and I am running into CPU issues, so let me turn this guy off and let me freeze him. So again, conserve your CPU. Here we go. And if you wanted to, you could actually also add a couple kind of embellishments up in the higher register. So remember that the top note of a chord always sounds, even though it's part of a chord, it still sounds like a melody. So for example, I'm going to go here. See what that sounds like. I like that, but I'm going to double that. And then here I could do something similar. Unfold. And then do it in the bottom just to strengthen that. And then freeze it. And now that just gives the lower part, oh sorry, not the lower part, it'll give that kind of, we call it an ostinato, right? Something that's repeated. Those repeated notes, it'll give them some movement instead of just being on the same note. What's up, Samuel Messiah? Nice to see you. Oh, Vaselis is asking a nice question. What if you had probability set. So changing the probability of these notes, that is an interesting thing. So in Live 11 again, you can open up the expression views, and you can click on chance and then randomize the probability, or change the probability that these notes are being played. Let's see what happens. I'm going to randomize, and let's actually solo that. All right, that's cool. I think what it's doing though, it's not randomizing them. It's kind of randomizing them all at the same time, not taking out all voices at the same time so that there are gaps. It's just kind of like scrambling them up. So I'm not going to do that. But it was a great idea, Vasilis. Now let's get to the brass. I'm going to copy this. No, so let's just freeze this again. And for the brass, what's important is you don't want to have these big spreads, not so much. What sounds good in brass is you can actually have notes that are, or chords that are played much closer together than for the strings. So let's record in the brass here. Turn them on. So this is an important thing to know about orchestration is, number one, not every note is going to sound good on every instrument. And there's a couple of reasons. There's many reasons for that. Number one, range. Like certain instruments can't play as high as others, or as low as others. Certain, every instrument sounds good in a very particular range, meaning in pitch, like high register, low register. The timbre, which means the tone color of every instrument is different, and you really need to know what you're working with to know what kind of melodies or chords will sound good on what instruments. All right, so that's what orchestration is about. So let's try this on this brass. All right, so here's another thing. If you're playing with brass, brass has a very thick, rich sound. So if you play just long, loud notes, it's going to basically just, cover everything up. So you don't want to do that. So you want to play like stabs. So they're very good at playing rhythms, right? Especially this type of brass sound. So let's try that. I think I'll play this a little longer. And then let's add let's record that in that little like a little sidestep chord. I'll record that over. I wanted to go for the G there, so let me correct that. And if I don't want it to sound legato, like very flowing, if I want it to sound more like punctuating the rest of the song, then I want to leave gaps, all right, especially in brass, so that it doesn't cover everything up. So that's why I'm leaving a lot of gaps. I could also play this up an octave. It'll probably sound too high. That sounds way too high. But what I could do is I could maybe take, see, that note is too high. It's not even playing. Let me add a note on top of that. All right, like that. So let me do that to all the G's. And then what's going on here? And then how about I make this a even, make it more rhythmic. Duplicate that. Yeah. All right, let's bring the strings in, and then we are pretty much done. So, actually, why don't we do it? Let's start the song from the beginning, and why don't we record it on the push? Let us make sure we don't run into any CPU stuff. So it's going to freeze this. And freeze this guy. All right, and we're going to start with the piano. Arrangement view. Bass, drums.
Dr. Dre be the name, still running the game, still got it wrapped like a mummy. Still ain't tripping, love to see young blacks get money, spend time out the hood, take their moms out the hood, hit my boys off with jobs. No more living hard, barbecues every day, driving fancy cars. Still gon' get my cigars.
I'm representing for the gangsters all across the world.
Still,
Hitting them counters and them lolos, girl.
still taking my time to perfect the beat, and I still got love for the streets. It's the DRE.
Representing for the
Doctor.
Well, why did that not play? Go back to those strings. All right, that works. All right, lazy fade out, but hey, there we have it. And that is, of course, there were a couple things that my strings were turned off, the legato strings, so they didn't come through the first time, but sounded nice when they did. And now I can go ahead and edit this. So that is my little arrangement. Hope you enjoyed that. T-Soul, what's up, Thomas? Snoop Dogg, that's right. Will he make it to the end of the track before a YouTube strike? Well, see, that's a great question. The thing about YouTube is, if you take the acapella, you're good. Because so far, I don't think YouTube can detect that. So, yeah, place your bets now, Samuel. I think I'll be fine. It will scan every live stream, but it won't detect the acapella. It'll only detect the whole song. Roller 8, thank you. Glad you like it. Cool. Mystic Moth, thank you. You're welcome. Let's see, any other questions? The piano roll and notes are not aligned. What do you mean the piano roll and notes are not aligned? Not sure what you mean there. Cool. So I think that's it for today. So I hope that you were able to learn that orchestration really plays, kind of can really bring your song to life by picking the right instruments and assigning your parts to specific instruments, because every instrument sounds different, right? Some instruments sound very strong and strident. Other ones sound melancholy and and dark and sensuous, or romantic, or whatever. So knowing what instrument you're going to pick is going to really set the mood for your song, and that's what orchestration is about: setting the mood by picking the right instrument. Again, if you are tuning in for the first time, we are 343 TV. We're here every day at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Please hit the subscribe and hit the bell key so that you're informed when we go live. And again, the beat battle is happening on our Discord channel. Sign up to win the Arturia VC8 collection. Also, I totally forgot about the giveaway for this week's stream. There's so many giveaways. The giveaway for this week's stream, enter in the chat with Thomas, is the Isotope Vocal Synth 2. So thank you, Isotope, for sponsoring us. They've been really dope, and they're now sponsoring us with giveaways. And this week's giveaway is Isotope Vocal Synth 2. The winner will be announced on John's stream on Saturday. Tomorrow we have Abe Duque with Abe's Production Playhouse with special guest Julia Mattis. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, I loved being here. Thank you for your support. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.
comprar. Menina que